My name is Philip, and I'm the Education Coordinator with the Cape Elizabeth Land Trust. Today, we're going to be learning about the 6 parts of a plant. Here in Maine, we're used to being surrounded by different types of plants, from the grass that grows in our yard to the trees that tower over us in the forest. But did you know that those plants all share the same 6 parts? We're going to learn about the 6 parts of a plant by studying a plant that might be familiar to you. The wild blueberry, Maine's state fruit. The first part of the plant are the roots. These serve 2 purposes. First, they help the plant hold on to the soil, and second, they help capture water and nutrients from the soil and carry them to other parts of the plants. This leads us to the second part of the plant, the stem. The stem provides support for the other parts of the plant, and also helps to transport that water and those nutrients up and down from different parts of the plant. If we follow that stem farther, we'll eventually reach leaves. Leaves are an important part of the plant because they are responsible for capturing energy from the sun and using it to transform carbon dioxide in the atmosphere into sugars that the plant can use to grow. That process is called photosynthesis. Now, almost every plant on the planet has those 3 parts: the roots, the stem, and the leaves. There are a couple other special parts of a plant that most plants have, but not all plants. The first are the flowers. Flowers are the part of the plant that helps it reproduce. They allow each individual plant to exchange genetic material with other plants in its area, allowing it to create a new individual offspring. Most flowers produce a fruit. It's usually a fleshy object that surrounds the seed, both for protection and to make it more attractive to animals. And last but not least, the seed itself is the 6th part of a plant. The seed takes the genetic information from the flower and allows it to be transferred into an entirely new plant. Eventually, that seed can grow into a new individual and repeat the process from the beginning. Those 6 parts of the plant, the root, the stem, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, and the seeds, are pretty easy to identify in the wild blueberry. Now let's take a look at a plant that's a little bit harder to identify. In sticking with our main theme, we're going to look at the eastern white pine tree, Maine's state tree. Just like the blueberry, the pine tree starts out with roots, but these roots are much bigger than a blueberry plant would have. The pine tree has a stem too, but we usually call it a trunk, responsible for carrying the nutrients and water up and down to different parts of the plant. The pine tree also has leaves, and they do look a little different. In fact, we usually refer to them as needles, not as leaves. Here's where things start to get a little funny. Pine trees, like all conifers, don't really have flowers or fruit. Instead, they make pine cones, which do a little bit of each, allowing the exchange of genetic information and protecting the seeds, but without sort of the fruity part that we're used to thinking of. They do in fact have seeds, just like the blueberry does. And so all told, the pine tree has at least 4 parts of the plant, 5 if you count the cone as sort of a flower and a fruit. I hope this gave you a quick introduction to the parts of a plant and how they can vary a little bit from species to species.